As for the shutdown, the Senate yesterday rejected both Democratic and Republican funding bills for a fifth time. The House remains out of session after Speaker Mike Johnson canceled votes, saying the chamber has done its job in passing.
No. He doesn't want these. He doesn't want Republicans around. He does not want House members around, Willie.
Why?
Well,
Why
there are a
could
couple
that be?
reasons. If the House members are around,
why don't they swear in the House?
We've heard about the Epstein thing. They'll have enough votes to release the Epstein files. They'll swear in the Democrat.
Yeah, it would be good because
that's
she wants
one
to do her
reason.
job.
But I'm starting to think more and more that he doesn't want him around because he has such a small majority. They're going to say, listen, there are a lot of Republicans that are in districts where their people are going to start feeling the pain. Marjorie Taylor Greene, we're going to show a quote from her. She's up in Dalton, Georgia. I know Dalton, Georgia very well. Spent all my summers up in Dalton, Georgia. Let me tell you something. You cut Medicaid funding in Dalton, Georgia. You cut Medicaid funding. In between the Dalton, Chattanooga,
Walker County, Catoosa County,
Sea Rock City, Ruby Falls, all of those things. You're going to have a lot of rural hospitals hurting. You're going to have a lot of nursing homes hurting. You're going to have a lot of young Georgians, kids not getting the type of care they need to get. That's why Mike Johnson doesn't want Republicans in town, because their constituents are getting hurt. And you look at all of the people in districts that Harris won, and Republicans have a lot of reasons to actually vote with Democrats here and bring back some of these cuts.
And talk about an interesting bellwether. Marjorie Taylor Greene saying to Republicans, guys, this isn't good for us. We want to expand those Medicaid benefits. My constituents like the Affordable Care Act. It allows them to have health care. You're taking that away from them. This is bad, says Marjorie Taylor Greene.
That district is a really interesting microcosm of what's happened in the country, because when I was growing up right across the Tennessee state line, it was a secure Democratic seat.
Solid Democrat.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then in 1992, a guy named Pat Buchanan does extremely well up there in the primaries against Bush 41.
Right.
And now it's this, deep red district. But with this, they need government.
Well, I mean, it's like my district. It was in Northwest Florida. It was a Democratic district from Reconstruction up until 1994. But man, when I campaigned, I didn't go to the Republican meetings first. I went to the Ross Perot United We Stand meetings first and nailed down my base there. Then I nailed down the as I called them, the wine and cheese Republicans. And then I had that's what a lot of these districts are. They are conservative, but they are populist, and the people in those districts their parents need Medicaid funding. Their children need Medicaid funding. And more importantly than that, even if they're not on Medicaid, the healthcare facilities they go to are overwhelmingly dependent on Medicaid. So they're having to shut down parts of their hospitals. They're having to fire staff. They're having to get rid of pediatricians. They're having to get rid of the people who take care of their parents in the later years of their life. This is bad news for Republicans. $1 trillion slashed from health care funding to give $1 trillion in tax cuts to Elon Musk and the richest people in the world.
Yeah, it's so easy to just take the Beltway perspective and who's up, who's down politically. And it's important to remember the real people who are being involved by this, whether they live in blue districts or red districts or swing districts. And you're absolutely right. We know how underwater the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill is. Right now, there's a lot of messaging wars in terms of the shutdown, but at the end of the day, Republicans do control all three branches of government. Odds are they're going to take a lot of the blame, Mike. And I also think it's not a helpful look when the House Speaker keeps Republicans away. They can't do their job. First of all, I think it's going to be more of a storyline that there's a district in Arizona that does not have representation in Congress right now. Just constituent services. They do not have a congresswoman because Mike Johnson won't seat her because of all this and because of the Epstein matter. And, just want to keep Republicans at home. That's going to make people think, wait, they're abandoning me.
The sub-lead in this story, if you had newspapers still, we still have a few newspapers, but the sub-lead would be what you just said. they need government. Republicans need government as well as Democrats, especially Republicans, as Joe just explained, who depend on Medicaid, who depend on traveling and get covered by the ACA and are worried about their premiums going up and things. They're not Republicans or Democrats when it comes to health care. And the fact that it's been avoided linking the two partially is a result of Johnson decided not to have Republicans hanging around Washington because they would be forced to talk about their constituents when asked.
So, Jim VandeHei, you're there in Washington watching how this all plays out. The Marjorie Taylor Greene element is fascinating, calling for an extension of those Obamacare subsidies. How do you see this fever breaking, if you see it breaking? Donald Trump expressed yesterday, he changes from day to day, but some willingness to negotiate a little bit. Where is the room for negotiation here?
I mean, it has to be around those subsidies, right? And Republicans don't want to do it. And I think Democrats feel they probably do want to do a deal, but the leadership is under so much pressure because the base just feels like they're weak and inept, and that this is their one chance to actually make a stand against the president. So I think this could drag on a little bit longer than people realize. And I think one of the ticking time bombs of American politics right now is health care. You're seeing a glimpse. You're only seeing a glimpse of it right now because you have these Medicaid cuts that are going to kick in. That obviously affects people who are either in a bad place in life or not making that much money. You have these Obamacare subsidies that are the price of your premiums about to go up, and then anybody who's getting employer-based health care, there's already been reports out there. I was just talking to one of the biggest insurers. The average premium is going to go up 18% just because people need more care. I'm in the middle of budgeting at Axios. Ours is going up way more than 18%. So then when you're an employer, you have to think about, okay, do we eat all of that or do you have to pass it on to your employees? If you do pass it on to your employees, they're having to pay more out of pocket ultimately for health care. So this is a huge problem. And part of it is just the nature of having this like partially private, partially public healthcare system that we have that's growing insanely expensive and insanely inefficient. And I think this is just a taste of it. And I think for Republicans, especially if you're in a tight district and you're someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who there's this strain of MAGA that is kind of purist in its MAGA feelings, which is, hey, we got elected by helping people who were in the working class and helping people who were kind of forgotten by the Republican Party. And now that we're in power, it seems like we're forgetting them again. So they're really trying to hold their feet to the fire. And I think this comes through with Medicaid cuts, especially in places where that's really propping up the medical system.
Well, and that's the thing. Again, it's not just if Marjorie Taylor Greene's constituents are on Medicaid or not. It's not just if a Republican in upstate New York's constituents are all on Medicaid. The hospitals are overwhelmingly dependent on that funding, and that funding's been slashed. So you have I know how this works. You have hospital administrators calling you up going, hey, can you come into my office? I need to show you what we're going to have to close down if these cuts go through. And suddenly you see that your constituents are going to get substandard health care because there are some people that are, trying to make this point. But
what's the money being used for?
And the money's being used, of course, here. This is what Bill Clinton did to us in 95 and 96. The money's being used for tax cuts for the rich. And it's not there's not a stronger argument I can think of in American politics than they're slashing your children and your parents' health care to pay for tax cuts for the rich, for Elon Musk and for the richest billionaires in Silicon Valley. I just want to circle back really quickly because we've been talking about this some, but I don't think people are paying attention to it enough. Yes, of course, we're talking about public health care. We're talking about Medicaid and Medicare. But what you touched on, I want to touch on again. Private health care insurance is exploding. Not only is it exploding, people are feeling it. There's a real crisis out there. We always talked about how in Canada, we don't want nationalized health care because it takes 6 months to get the doctor or the procedure you want. That's now happening in some cases with private health care, where they'll deny, they'll finally approve, and then they'll come back with a denial letter, and you just keep going around in circles to try to get to see the doctor you want to go see. Private health care insurance, the exploding cost of it, along with Medicaid, Medicare, these other issues, those are going to combine for a toxic mix on the campaign trail in the coming months and years, aren't they?
Yeah, and again, it goes back to what you were talking about, experience and competence, right? We have this bloated, complicated, way too expensive healthcare system that is really one of the most bureaucratic, almost unexplainable systems and feels unfixable. Well, the only way you fix it is actually having people who have authentic expertise who take this and try to figure out, like, how do you get
who do
here?
we have?
And how do you reverse engineer it?
We have RFK Jr., who's declaring a war on vaccines. Like, that's who we have, Jim. I'm sorry, go ahead. But instead of having an expert that can sort through this to drive down prices, we have RFK Jr. there at HHS.
Right, and like aspirationally, there's many components of the MAHA movement that make a ton of sense. People should live healthier. They should be thinking about what's in their food. But you also have a very sick population. Just look at the numbers. It is what it is. And I've experienced it. My wife has had a lot of different health issues, and we have all of the benefits. We have Blue Cross Blue Shield. We know doctors. We can do whatever we want. And it's still a terrible system. It's still a terribly inefficient system. So that poor person who's on Medicaid, who only has one hospital to go to, that's not just, oh, it's a political topic. It's their damn life, right? It's whether or not they can get the medicine that they need, whether they can get the treatment that they need. If they can't get to the hospital, it's not close enough, they might not go at all. They don't go, they die. And that's why competence matters, and thinking about these topics and the complexity of it matters. And so this is another political fireworks show. It'll be resolved like every other shutdown has in the past. But I think the reality of the healthcare system is really coming into full focus. And it comes into full focus when you don't get something you need, or what you need costs a hell of a lot more than you can afford.
Well, even after this is resolved, healthcare is going to remain a massive, growing crisis.
Yes. Axios co-founder and CEO Jim VandeHei, thank you very much. We'll be watching the latest episode of The Axios Show, which came out this morning, in which Jim sits down with New York Times bestselling author and motivational speaker Mel Robbins. Coming up,
We have motivational speaker John Meacham here. Motivate us.
I
like Mel Robbins.
Let that. Motivate us, John. What motivational story do you have for us this morning?
When you have Reinhold Niebuhr
and
James K. Polk